Hello and welcome. What's going on, everybody? Your New York Knicks lose to the LA Clippers by a final score of 113 to 126. The Knicks now fall to 45-27 on the season. 10 games remain after this one. The Knicks could have clinched the top 6 spot with the win tonight, but unfortunately they just couldn't get it done tonight. Back-to-back affair. Clippers came in, really hunkered down. I mean, it started from the second quarter. We'll talk through everything. Appreciate every single one of you guys in here. Thank you for the support as always. Smash the like button, subscribe to the channel, and yeah, just tough loss from the Knicks, man. I mean, it's one of those games. Look, back to back, Clippers are an excellent defensive team, and they showed that, especially in the second half. Knicks are now 5-5 since Jalen Brunson went down with an injury. Too much to overcome. Look, they lost Campaign in the second half. Unfortunately, he turned his ankle in the first half, and he was actually playing extremely well for this team, boosting the offense when we needed it. Campaign, unfortunately, couldn't give it a go in the second half. Hope that Campaign is good, but the reality of the situation is the New York Knicks are down 3 guards at this point, and no Campaign, no Deuce McBride, no Jalen Brunson. So your only guards are essentially Tyler Kolek and DeLon Wright. So it's too much to overcome regarding that, and obviously we'll talk throughout the game, but Clippers, they're an amazing team, especially defensively, one of the best defensive teams in the league, and they've been playing well, and I wouldn't want to play them if I was in the West. Knicks are now 0-2 against the Clippers this season, and yeah, 45-26, we're going to have to wait another day, another game for our New York Knicks to clinch a top 6 seed in the East. What's going on, everybody? Appreciate every single one of you guys in the chat. Robert, what's going on, Robert? Makes you wonder if the roster overhaul was worth it. Record will probably be the same or worse as last year, and I'm not sure the ceiling was raised either. What's going on, Robert? This Rover says, forgive me for expecting us to have done better with 2 All-Stars and a contender for Defensive Player in the Year on our team. Guys, I mean, we'll talk about this game, but I'm not overreacting to this one. I'm not. Back-to-back in your guard situation, I mean, Tom Thibodeau actually played DeLon Wright majority of the fourth, and I thought he would go back to Tyler Kolek, but he didn't. And I thought this game kind of turned. Look, to start this game, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to kind of go through the game. This is a post-game now. The New York Knicks were moving the ball tremendously in the first quarter. The ball was moving. They looked great. They looked like they were in sync. Everything was flowing. The Knicks were hitting their shots. The Clippers weren't hitting their shots. To start this game, the New York Knicks were playing excellent basketball. They had 12 assists in the first quarter in this basketball game. The ball movement was probably one of my favorite quarters to watch this season in the first quarter. And second quarter comes around. Josh Hart picks up his 3rd foul call. Threw off the momentum a little bit. Threw off the substitution patterns. Thibs had to go back to Mikal Bridges. So Bridges had to play more than usual. And the momentum kind of shifted after that point. Clippers started to hunker down defensively. Third quarter, James Harden took over this game in the third quarter, where James Harden, I think he had 16 points, 4-4 from 3 in the third quarter from Mr. James Harden. And as you see here, the third quarter is what, ultimately extended the Clippers' lead. They scored 40 points compared to the Knicks' 29. Fourth quarter, defensively, the Knicks just were a step slow tonight, and that's given on a back-to-back, right? So it's just one of those games where, unfortunately, I love the way the first quarter unfolded. Second quarter, Hart picked up foul trouble, and then the Clippers found something. And then I thought the substitutions were a little wonky today. And, I know you had to go to DeLon Wright in that fourth quarter because you can't play Kolek the entire second half. But, I would have loved to see some Kolek more in that fourth quarter. I know Thibs wanted to go on more of a defensive route, which is the reason why we didn't see Tyler Kolek in that fourth quarter. DeLon Wright is obviously known for his defense, and Thibs thought defense was going to get us back in this game. But unfortunately, it just, Leonard was amazing today. James was amazing today. Powell, 4 or 5 from 3, defending the 3, guys. I mean, it's, 16 of 30 the Clippers shot from 3. So the Knicks kind of reverted back to, they've been good defensively lately, right? I think they're 12th ranked defensive rating in the NBA. And 16 of 30, they shot 53% from 3. And it was tough to overcome. Jaden says that third quarter lineup at the end cost us the game, in my opinion. Lost our momentum from then and couldn't get back up. Eddie says no back-to-back excuse. What's going on, Yuri? See you guys in the chat. Appreciate every single one of you guys in here. El Figgy says, why leave Mitchell Robinson out there? Should have put Precious out way sooner. El Figgy says, Mitch didn't give you anything today. Precious, he attempted a fadeaway jump shot, and I'm like, bro, what are you doing? Just Mitch didn't give you anything. Precious, Shaman actually plays hard, man. He's a hard worker. And, yeah, I mean, Kolek with 7 assists, only 18 minutes. Again, didn't play the fourth quarter until, the last minute. So, yeah, man. I mean, it's a tough game, guys. Eddie. This Rover says bottom of March and we're still choking. Robert says momentum shifted in the second quarter. Agree. Daniel, what's going on? Appreciate you in the chat, Daniel. Appreciate you in the chat. Jaden says Cat had 34 and 14 and y'all still complaining about him. Castro, what's good? Felt like this was the game to get one over on the Clippers. And then Tony says, need a coach that is willing to make adjustments in game, and he doesn't give up 73 points and a half. That's not lucky baskets falling. That's poor defensive coverage. The momentum shifted in the second quarter. It really did. And Tyronn Lue is an amazing coach. And it showed tonight, right? Knicks were running a lot of actions in that first quarter through Josh Hart simply because Tyronn Lue was putting Zubac, right, on Hart. And the Knicks were running Josh Hart in actions and pick and rolls, and it was working tremendously. And Hart picked up 3 fouls, and it kind of in that second quarter, it kind of deviated from, I don't know if it deviated from the plan. I don't know if, Thibs, I don't even think Josh Hart should have even been out there to pick up his 3rd foul in that situation, but it just kind of changed everything. And then the Clippers started hitting shots, and then, Cat was awesome tonight, I thought. Cat is being Cat. He's hitting his threes. He's hitting his open looks. But defensively, the Knicks just were a step slow tonight. And credit to the Clippers for shooting lights out. Harden 6 of 9 from 3. Norman Powell 4 of 5. Leonard 2 of 6. Batum 2 of 2. And look, Clippers are lengthy. And we know the Knicks struggle with such teams. Lengthy teams. And the Clippers are a tremendous defensive unit. And, again, Knicks struggled with them, right? So you go to the Knicks side. Once Payne went out, guys, it kind of sucked the air out of the building. And I know it sounds crazy, but Payne was actually really playing extremely well for this team in the first half. I mean, extremely well for this team. And third quarter came around. I know the Knicks, I think they led by 14 in this game, guys. The Knicks led by 14, wind up losing 13. So they lost the lead. They lost their touch. Second quarter momentum, just the air came out of the balloon in that second quarter. Couldn't overcome the Hart foul trouble. And in the second half, the Knicks were essentially with no point guard, especially with no Kolek out there, really, because Thibs didn't go back to him in the fourth. Knicks were running their offense through Karl-Anthony Towns, catch the ball, high post, Cat. Knicks would cut a lot. Knicks would run a lot of actions with the ball in Cat's hands. And, I mean, 34 and 12, 4 assists, 2 steals for Cat. Great game. It's just the guys around him. Mikal 1 of 5 from 3. Anunoby with another great game from Anunoby. And it's just the reality of the situation. Your bench didn't show up. Mitch didn't show up. I mean, you have Precious, 3 rebounds, 6 points, only 8 minutes for Precious Achiuwa. I don't think he played in the second half, by the way. Or if he did, he played a little. But, yeah, the patterns in this game were kind of thrown off by the Hart foul trouble, and the campaign injury just magnified that. So, Just Knicks, salute. What's going on, Just Knicks? Appreciate you in here. Just chopping it up. Knicks lose 113-126. Unfortunately, the New York Knicks could not clinch a top 6 seed today. They couldn't clinch a top 6 playoff berth. It is going to happen, ladies and gentlemen, but unfortunately, not tonight. Not tonight. Unfortunately, not tonight. Tony says Mitchell Robinson played like he played 5 games in a row, slow on his feet. He doesn't make no impact for us and barely can secure a rebound. Tony, yeah, Mitch was bad tonight, but I'm not going to say like he makes no impact for us. Since Mitch has returned, Tony, the Knicks defensively have been awesome, right? Strategic move, not playing Mitchell Robinson last night and wanted to play him tonight based on the Clippers' size. And unfortunately, it just didn't pan out. Mitch tonight, minutes just empty. Just empty stuff from Mitchell Robinson tonight. And 13, I mean, you see it in 13 minutes, 2 boards, 1 assist, minus 22 on the night. Shaman minus 29. But I don't know. Well, why couldn't we get more Kolek in that fourth? Right? Selfishly, I wanted Kolek to get 10 assists. Selfishly. But unfortunately, Thibs just wanted to, maybe he wanted to take a look at DeLon Wright. Look, DeLon Wright, he hasn't played since we traded for him. And he is known to be a defensive specialist. Thibs wanted to get back in this game with his defense, and it just didn't work. I mean, the minutes from DeLon Wright were like, So, Jaden says DeLon finishing over Kolek, though. I don't know about that one. We have no facilitator, and DeLon's defense wasn't going to win us this game, but Kolek's playmaking could have gotten them somewhere more than him. Agree. Weird that Kolek didn't play. He played the entire third quarter, did not play at all in the fourth quarter. Weird. Wonder if they're going to ask Thibs about that. Now, I don't think that's why the Knicks lost this game, but it's weird that he didn't play in the fourth. Gary says Knicks should have won this game. I agree, Yuri. Anytime you have a 14-point lead, I mean, I know it's the NBA, right? At the end of the third quarter, you're up 33-20. Offense is clicking. Knicks are in sync. I'm like, okay, Knicks look great. Then second quarter, foul trouble comes around. Hart picks up his third. Out of sync. Mitch didn't give you anything in that second. Clippers go on a run. They start to knock down some threes. The threes that they were missing in the first, they made the entirety of the game. Second quarter, 34 points. Third quarter, 40 points. Fourth quarter, 32 points. And the dagger, honestly, was Harden in that third quarter. Did not miss a 3. 4-4 from 3. And great players do great things. Kawhi had some amazing shots tonight over OG Anunoby. Had an amazing fadeaway jump shot over OG Anunoby in the fourth quarter. There's nothing you can do. Anunoby plays some great, amazing defense on Kawhi. And great players sometimes overlook great defense. And that's the reality of the situation. But, did the Pacers, I know the Pacers are, no, Lakers won. Okay. Lakers won. So Pacers have been breathing down your neck. So you have 10 games left. So I think the Knicks have to go 4-6 and the Pacers have to go 8-2 if the Pacers want to catch the Knicks for the 3rd seed. Pacers just lost to the Lakers. So that kind of gives you breathing room for the 3rd seed. You're going to finish 3rd. You're going to finish 3rd. So essentially, I know tonight was like a tough watch, especially in that third quarter, especially in the fourth quarter. But, right now I'm just worried about campaign because these guys, look, sprained his ankle and it didn't look good. And the adrenaline in that first half, that's what got him through that. Second quarter, he sat down. I mean, and at halftime, he sat down, and I'm guessing it swelled up, but he just couldn't give it a go. But Knicks are down 3 guards, Brunson, Payne, and Deuce McBride. So right now, the number one priority for this Knicks team should be health, right? You don't want to see guys start to get hurt now. That you don't want. That you don't want. Appreciate you guys in here. Knicks lose 113-126 to the Clippers. Our defense looked better last night without Robinson, El Figgy says. Yeah, I mean, it's a weird, right? You know, Mitch has been playing extremely well for this team, has looked dominant, has looked great. And he has had I think he's had a couple of these games where, you know, he just really hasn't been impactful for us. And that type of stuff is going to happen, especially with him. Maybe he was throwing out his rhythm, resting him last game. But, you know, he's been great for this team, guys. I mean, the game, he's been great. So I'm not worried about Mitch. I'm just happy he's out there. But tonight, bad game for Mitch. It happens. It happens, you know. And he's going to be key for us in the playoffs. That's for sure. It happens. But it's another game where you lose to, I don't know, would you call the Clippers a contender? They're a really good team, and they're playing really well lately. So you lost. I don't want to use the back-to-back as an excuse. I don't. Bad habits tonight. Defensively, poor closeouts, foul trouble. It just can't happen, right? And third quarter has been kind to the Knicks, and tonight it wasn't. Anytime you allow 40 points in the third quarter, and James Harden went scorched earth in that third quarter, it's tough, man. It's tough. Not going to win too many games playing defense like this. I'll tell you that. Isaiah, what's going on, Isaiah? I'm still excited for the playoff atmosphere. Ant, does this game bother you a little? Loud and clear. What's good, loud and clear? I started watching in the fourth. Wow, man, we could have clinched tonight. Yeah, unfortunately, we could have clinched tonight. Isaiah, does this game bother me? Honestly, it doesn't. I'm just being real with you guys. I know I would have loved to see Kolek more in that fourth. Anunoby still looks great. Towns looks great. I mean, Payne got hurt. He was great in the first half. Hart, I guess you could say this was like one of Hart's poor games, especially defensively, but he's been great. It's really the bench, guys. It's the inconsistencies of the bench that really worries me. It does. Because Precious, good yesterday. Today, And Kolek, Clippers were running Kolek in many actions defensively, and he was hedging, holding his own, and he was doing a solid job defensively for the Knicks. But they were attacking him. They were trying him, and you have a defensive-minded coach. He noticed it, and that's why he didn't play the fourth. But me personally, I didn't think that's why he lost the game. I think it was just the Clippers got hot, man. I mean, look at this. They 16 to 30 from 3. 53% from 3. I mean, you're not going to win games when opponent teams shoot that much from 3. I mean, Ben Simmons coming in the game, 8 boards, 2 assists. You know, Clippers are a good team. And Knicks have shown you they've struggled against lengthy teams. And tonight was just a poor defensive effort. You lost another guard. And at this point, 10 games left. Would I have loved to clinch tonight? Yeah. But unfortunately, they just couldn't get it done. But I'm not worried. I'm not, because what we saw in that first quarter was very promising. I mean, the Knicks looked great in that first quarter. And I know games aren't winning one in one quarter, but second quarter, the Knicks lost their mojo by getting into foul trouble. Hart got subbed out. Mikel's played more in the second quarter than normally. I mean, you see it 40 minutes from Mikel tonight, and his minutes have been down. So it forced Thibs to go to Mikel sooner, and Mikel was awesome in the first half. Really nothing in the second half. And Mikel, I think he had 7 of these assists in the first half, by the way. He was awesome. And in the second half, I mean, credit to the Clippers. They made adjustments. And the Knicks just couldn't match it. So I'm not like, it happens, guys. It happens. 10 more of these things, one more to clinch. Just get healthy at the end of the day, honestly. So, Jared, what's going on, Jared? What's going on, Jared? Appreciate you in the chat, guys. Appreciate all of you in the chat. Thank you for the support, as always. Loud and Clear says, how bad was Cam's injury? If he injured that in the first quarter, I believe, and then the adrenaline took him through the first half, and I don't know. I'm waiting to see if we have any updates, but I haven't seen anything. If we have any updates on campaign, but once I get some updates, I'll let you guys know. But Payne was awesome for this team in the first half. A main reason why the Knicks built such lead, right? Open threes, Payne was hitting them, and he's been great. Payne has been great. So, hope that he's okay. Chris says, Mitch is not it no more. He is a shell of his former self. The man can barely jump now. Time to move on. Ariel Hoporti or Moses Brown. Chris, appreciate the support. But Mitchell Robinson, come on. He's had some amazing games, Chris. He's had some dominant games for this basketball team since his return. Coming back from major injury, you're just happy that he's out there on the court. Bad game for Mitch. It happens. But we have seen Big Mitch look like Big Mitch. And tonight, he didn't look like Big Mitch. Right? But I'm not going to go that crazy. Y'all not making a loss a big deal because we played last night. Y'all bugging. So because we played last night is an excuse to give up a 14-point lead. Tony, it's the NBA, man. I mean, it happens. Like, I can come on here screaming like, oh, why did we give up a 14-point lead? But I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to do that. Look, the Knicks are one game away from clinching a top 6 seed in the Eastern Conference. I know, Tony, you don't want to hear that, but they're going to be a top 6 seed. They're going to be a 3rd seed. The writing is on the wall, right? What you want to do, and what I've been saying, is build good habits, go into the playoffs healthy, get your guys right, get the captain back, and that's what we want, right? Clippers are a tough team. They're a Western Conference team. They've been playing extremely well. They've come into your building on a heater, and you're 0-2 against the Clippers. They're in the West. They're playing extremely well. You didn't make the adjustments in the second half, and it happens. It's a back-to-back. I'm not giving excuses. You guys know me. I don't really give excuses, but it happens, guys. Joe Skillful, do you think the Knicks are genuinely a better team than the Clippers when fully healthy? Clippers are tough, man. I would say the Knicks are a better team than the Clippers. Obviously, it shows record-wise. They've been without Kawhi for like 40-something games, but they've started to play extremely well, and they're really coached extremely good by – they have an extremely talented head coach in Lou. He's a coach. You talk about a coach I would want. That's Lou. Tyronn Lue. That's who I would want. But he's extremely a talented coach, and – Pacers stink. I love the name. Anybody who was criticizing Thibs' bench minutes just took the biggest L tonight. What's going on? Pacers stink. Nick spoiled Russell Wilson night, man. We need Brunson back, Raheem said. Yeah. Donnell says, if y'all think Mitch is done, y'all not watching. He had a bad game. Yeah, bad game. Bad game. Eddie says, please remember we played at home. Raheem says, Knicks have no three-point defense. Not tonight, Raheem. El Figgy says, I know we've been spoiled these last few years with gritty, fun teams, but we have to rally and stay the course. It's our first year with Town and Bridges. Yeah, look, I'm at the point of the season. I'm at that point. Look, the Knicks are 5-5 without Brunson, right? 5-5. You're a 500 team without Brunson. And without your captain, you're a 500 team, in my opinion. Like, you need him. This Knicks team needs him. They've had some bad losses. They've had some terrible losses, right? But you're just coming off a great win, right? And you come out tonight looking great, looking good, chance to clinch, stars in the building, and you just couldn't get it done. up 14, wound up losing by, 13. Look, now I think you're gonna get the 3rd seed. I mean, too much. I mean, I just thought in the second half it was just too much to overcome, right? Too much to overcome. And I truly do think in that second quarter when Josh Hart picked up the 3rd foul, it was all she wrote. Because the momentum just shifted. You could feel it. You could feel the momentum. Clippers got in a groove. But the first half was promising. The Knicks were in sync. And the game unraveled when James Harden scored 16 points on 4-4 shooting from 3 in that 3rd quarter. So, appreciate every single one of you guys in here once again. Tony says, Jada Don, appreciate the subscription. Tony says, so if the Clippers have lost this game and gave up a 15-point lead, I guess their excuse would have been they haven't played since Sunday. Tony, I know you're upset. I get it. I understand it. But it sucks, right? The game just didn't go our way, right? You lost another guard. Second half, you come out with Kolek. Don't forget, game plans change, right? You can't just change a game plan at halftime when Kolek was scheduled to come off the bench. And I know the offense has looked great with Kolek. I think there was a point where he had 22 assists without a turnover, picked up his first turnover in his last 3 games. But, I mean, shell-shocked. And I know it sounds crazy to say, like, campaign being out shouldn't have prevented the New York Knicks from, garnishing such a poor half, but it did. It did. And you just didn't overcome it. Payne was 6-9, 3 of 6 for 3 in that first half. He was amazing for this team. Second half comes around. I know you start Kolek. We love Kolek. Did some great things. Got to play the drop, by the way.
Blocked from behind by Kolek.
7 assists from Tyler. Could have easily had 10 if Tibbs went to him in the 4th. But again, Tibbs in his mind is like DeLon Wright, better defender. If we have a chance to come back in this game, we need to hunker down defensively because the Knicks' 3-point defense was poor in the second half. So in Tibbs' mind, he doesn't want to put in Kolek in the 4th quarter because he believes DeLon Wright is a better defender, which he is. But in my mind, I'm like, so what? Like, so what? I know offensively you scored, 29 points in the 3rd, 29 points in the 4th. Just play there. I would have rather saw Kolek over Wright in that 4th. Like, personally, even in a loss, like, just put him out there. But he didn't. Patience thinks says Kolek, Hart, and Robinson on the floor together is putting the offense in a coffin. Only 2 guys on the floor looking to score. Kolek needs to start looking at the basket more. That I agree with. 0-3 tonight, 0-2 from 3. Missed both of his free throws. So offensively, he needs to start being more aggressive, and he will learn that. He's a rookie. And look, some of the passes that I'll show you. One of the passes he had tonight, guys, this was in the second quarter, right? Him and Mikal Bridges have built a tremendous rapport together. Honestly, this was in the second quarter. Knicks were up 40-30. Knicks were rolling. Kolek and Mikal. I mean, just watch Mikal and watch this pass. He has tremendous passing skills for, he's just a tremendous passer. Just, he puts the ball exactly where the shooters want it and exactly where Mikal has wanted it, and it's just been paying dividends. And in this second quarter, he was just dropping dimes. I mean, assist after assist after assist, and the offense was flowing. But this pass right here was, I think, one of his best passes of the season. And it was just, a fun watch, especially in that first quarter and the second quarter. And then it just unraveled towards the end of the second quarter where the Clippers just got hot, right? And I think the Knicks were up, 1 or 2 at the half? But, yeah. Tough game, man. Tough game. Tough game, guys. It happens, man. 113, 126. Got 10 more of these things, man. One more game to clinch. That's it. One more game to clinch. That's all I'm worried about is health right now. Honestly, to be honest with you guys, all I'm worried about is health and to build good habits. And look, I know the Knicks have the most back-to-backs remaining. I think they have 2 more back-to-backs remaining in the NBA. Right? So 10 games. That's it. April 1st, April 2nd, April 5th, April 6th, April 10th, April 11th. 3 more back-to-backs remaining for your New York Knickerbockers. So 10 games remain. You need 1 to clinch. Pacers lost tonight. You're still the 3rd seed. At Milwaukee on Friday. No Dame. I think Giannis is out tonight as well. So we'll just see how that one goes. But 10 more of these things, and then but you want to still build good habits. And Brunson's close. And now the real question is, if you clinch the 3rd seed, do you bring him back or do you keep him out? That's a question that he'll answer in his own mind, but I think he wants the All-NBA. Jermaine says, no toughness, no urgency, and no coaching adjustments. Michael says, enough with these lineups of Robinson, Hart, Achua, 3 guys who can't shoot. Chris says, man, damn. That I agree with, Michael. Robinson, Hart, and Achua. Tom Thibodeau continues to go to that lineup. 3 guys, when Hart is not shooting and not looking at the basket, I think he attempted, 6 shots tonight? And Achua is attempting shots like this. I have it with me. I have the picture. This was in the 2nd quarter. Knicks were up 12. I mean, look at the score. Achua attempted a fadeaway jump shot. And then he was short. After this shot, I was like, come on, man. It was like the Patrick Ewing meme. Have you ever shot that shot? Do you practice that shot? Do you practice that shot? Why are you shooting that shot? It was like the Patrick Ewing meme. Do you practice this shot, Precious? But yeah, just so inconsistent, man. So inconsistent. Pistons or Milwaukee, no Dame in the playoffs. I think I'd rather have Milwaukee, no Dame. Yeah, I'd rather have Milwaukee too. No Dame. Dame has a chance to come back this season, but I'd rather face Milwaukee. Knicks have matched up well against the Milwaukee Bucks. I know they have Giannis Antetokounmpo, but Knicks have matched up well against Milwaukee, and I'd rather have Milwaukee. And how it's shaping up, it's looking like it. The odds are it could be Milwaukee because I'm trying to see. Pistons play tonight. I don't think Detroit played tonight, but Milwaukee's playing Denver, I believe, and they're losing right now in the 3rd quarter. So another loss can push them back closer to the 6th seed, but yeah. But I would rather have the Bucks to answer your question. And obviously we'll talk it through over these next couple of weeks, but I would rather have the Bucks. April is going to be hell on earth for us. This Rover says Philly, Cleveland, Atlanta, Phoenix, Boston, Detroit, Cleveland. But like I'm sure this Cleveland game, they're not going to be playing for anything. Boston's not going to be playing for anything. Phoenix has been playing well at Cleveland. I think they're going to wrap up the 1st seed. So you just want to build habits. You don't want to get blown out by these teams. You don't, right? You don't want to get blown out. So if you look at the Knicks' schedule, guys, you want me to be a little bit pessimistic? You beat Dallas, which you should have beat, and you did. You beat Washington, they stink. You beat Miami at the time, they stink. That was a great win. But you have losses to the Clippers, great team. Hornets, terrible team. Spurs, terrible team. Golden State at the time where we couldn't score and find any offense. I really wanted that game. So, look, you beat up on Washington, Dallas, which you're supposed to, and credit to them, they're supposed to. But I'm not worried about tonight, man. I'm not. Like, it happens, man. Like I'm not. Did we see some of the same poor closeouts like we have seen like 2 months ago? Yeah. But this Knicks team has gotten better defensively. They have. And the numbers show it. But tonight, they just kind of reverted back to their old selves. And it hurt them. Especially when the Clippers shot 54% from three. So, I mean, you have Milwaukee next. Who knows who they're going to play? Is Giannis going to play? I mean, Dame's going to be out. Portland, Philly, you should win at Cleveland. But, like, how much can you take out of these games is where I'm trying to get at. How much can you take out of these games? Especially the at Cleveland and at Cleveland game. Like, I would like to beat Cleveland. I would. And I would like to face Cleveland in the second round. I would. But that's not how it's shaping up currently. And you're at a point of the season where you just want to stay healthy. We can't beat either team right now. Again, that's coaching, not a team being hot. Bucks could be good for us, seeing we're up 3-0 on them in the series. Portland beat us too. Yeah. Portland didn't beat us. Mikel hit the game winner. We got Portland on Sunday. Pacers says, I never trust the Pacers. Rick Carlisle is the worst coach in NBA history. I have a feeling we get Detroit. I have a feeling we get Detroit too. Someone please tell me we got a chance still. Chris, look, what you want to do is lock up the 3 seed and just figure it out. Just whoever you play in the first round, Bucks, Pistons, Pacers, either one, the Knicks should be able to beat them. If they don't, someone is getting fired, in my opinion. They should be able to beat them. Then you take your chances in the second round. It's looking like Boston, and you just hope for the best. You just hope for the best. But at that point, I'm already seeing media members say that the Boston Celtics do not want to play the Knicks in the second round. And look, every single time the Boston Celtics has played us this year, it's been a blowout. So would I give the Knicks a shot in the second round? It'll be a low probability. But if the Knicks sweep the Bucks or they sweep the Pistons and they're playing extremely well and they shoot lights out, and let's say they take game 1 in Boston, we're all going to be super excited in that series. But obviously I'm just being super optimistic right now. But we'll talk about that when we get there. But right now you just have to get healthy and just hope that Jalen Brunson is good and is ready, right? Because this team misses their captain. 5-5 since Jalen Brunson went down. So Michael says we need to trade Mitch in the offseason for DeAndre Hunter type player and let Huck Porty run backup 5. Pacers stink. Say, well, for all the Dibs haters tonight, should have been an eye-opener. He was forced to play the bench. What happened? Menace Police took a big L tonight. I wouldn't say that, Michael. Pacers stink. I wouldn't say that. I mean, Mitch has been awesome, and he was bad tonight. DeLon Wright didn't give them anything. And let's be frank, I wanted to see DeLon Wright more, especially in that Hornets game where they went 8-man rotation on a back-to-back. Shaman has been inconsistent all season long. He plays hard. Congratulations. He plays hard. 2 of 5 from 3. Anytime he comes into the game and makes 2 threes, it's a positive. Kolek needs to be more aggressive offensively, but the assists have been there. His playmaking has been there. Precious is just, you don't know what you're going to get. You don't know what you're going to get on a night-to-night basis. Right now, your most consistent players are Cat, OG, Mikel, and Hart. And Payne has been good. But Hart, bad game. Payne got hurt. Precious, no minutes, really, second half. Mitch was bad. DeLon Wright bad. Kolek didn't play the 4th. So, yeah, man. All right, I've done enough talking. Let's get to Yuri in the post game call-in. Those of you in the chat, call into the show. Hit the link in the description. Let's see who we got here. We got El Figgy, we got Sora, and then we got Yuri. in the Discord. Let me get in the Discord. Let's get to El Figgy first. Yeri, please put yourself on mute. Let's get to El Figgy first. Let's start with El Figgy tonight.
Oh, yeah.
Hey, Knicks Nation.
Yeri, I'm gonna mute you really quick. Let's get to El Figgy first.
Okay.
All right. El Figgy,
Hey, Ant,
welcome to the Knicks
Hey,
Nation
how you
postgame
doing?
show. What's going on?
How you doing?
I'm doing great.
Yeah, I'll tell you, from yesterday to today, what a swing in the momentum, man. It stinks when you lose like this, especially at home, especially when we had a 13-point lead in the first half of the game. It really looked like we were gonna be able to kind of redeem ourselves from the last time we saw this team back out west, and I was really hopeful. But you know what I'm thinking, and I know everybody in the chat might not agree with me here, but I wouldn't mind looking at the way we've been playing. If we did fall down to fourth or fifth seed going into the playoffs, I don't think that would be the worst thing in the world. And please just hear me out for a second. I think if you saw any of the Pacers Lakers game tonight, I think the Pacers really could go the way they're playing this year and the way they're going into the playoffs.
Yeah.
Let them wear out the Celtics a little bit. Let them go up against the Celtics. Let them deal with the Celtics. If we do get to the if by some miracle we get to the Eastern Conference Finals and we do see the Celtics, let them have to deal with that team first. I would much rather see the Bucks in the first round of the playoffs and then have to deal with the Cleveland Cavaliers. Just because if you look at our schedule, our last 4 games, the 3 teams that we have to see within our last 4 games, I believe we have to see the Pistons, the Cavs, and then the Celtics. We have a grueling end of season schedule. And Jalen's ankle, let's face it, it's not going to be 100%, Ant. It's not going to be 100% going into the playoffs. It just won't. And that's his superpower. It's his footwork.
Yeah.
It's not going to be 100% going into the playoffs. So we're going to have a Jalen Brunson maybe 75 at 80% if we're lucky. And not to take anything away from the Celtics, but one of the reasons they've had so much success the last few years, especially last year, is they had an easy road into the playoffs. Not to take anything away from anyone, but they had a much easier road last year. I wouldn't mind if we drop down to the 4th seed. Let's not bite off more than we can chew. Let's see how far we can get into this playoff. If we see the Bucks the first round, then we have to deal with the Cavs the second. I'm much more comfortable with that, considering we have to see the Pistons, the Cavs, and the Celtics. We're going to come in there a little bit battered into the playoffs. I don't want to have to deal with what we dealt with last year with the 76ers. They completely knocked the wind out of us. We lost Bojan Bogdanovic and Mitchell Robinson in that series. And then, of course, with the Pacers, Jalen broke his hand. Josh had an ab strain. The wheels started falling off the car at that point.
Elfrika, your sentiment has been, obviously I've been hearing it a lot, and I would essentially agree with you. I wouldn't mind dropping down to the 4th. I've seen a lot of people in the chat say be careful what you wish for, but I've seen a lot of people say you don't want to really, I don't know. Do you think the basketball gods will be on your side if you just all of a sudden fall to the 4th seed and the NBA world sees that, and let's say whoever you play in the first round. I mean, if you drop to the 4th seed right now, it'll be the Milwaukee Bucks. And they're like, all right, you drop to the 4th seed and they knock you out. Then what? So I understand what you say about the Pacers. They're playing extremely well. Obi Toppin's playing well for them. They had a tough loss against the Lakers tonight. But I just think the way the schedule's lining up and you have 10 games left, I don't even think that's possible right now. Because like I said, you would have to go 4-6 to close it out. And the Pacers, I think, have to go 8-2 because you own the tiebreaker against Indiana. Right? So while I understand it, and a part of me agrees with it. A part of me thinks Cleveland can get got in the playoffs. I want to avoid Boston, but at the same time, I don't want to duck from any smoke. I know how the basketball gods act. Appreciate you got me, El Figgy? You got anything else?
No, I got. Yeah, no. That was it. I appreciate. Like I said, we went into the playoffs last year with that mentality. I think we beat that Chicago Bulls team the last regular game of the season by 1 point to clinch the second seed. And we faced, the Sixers like warriors. And, it was great. That series was great, but it cost us. It cost us a couple of soldiers. So, we also have to be careful what we wish for.
It did cost us a couple of soldiers, but going into we beat the 76ers and we were extremely confident prior to the Pacers series. Like, okay, we're getting to the Eastern Conference Finals. And what happened, right? Like, I honestly, then it went up 2-0 and it all unraveled. We got hurt, but it's always an injury that happens. It's always something small. I mean, that can throw off a series, which is why, I don't really read too much into, the matchups. But again, you want to try to avoid Boston as much as possible. El Figgy, appreciate the call. Let's get to Sora in the Discord. Please unmute yourself, Sora. What you got?
What's up, man?
What's up?
Listen, I get, this is a bad loss, but I'm going to try to be pro tips for a little bit. So I know that, I've been trying to preach that, the playoffs is basically like a new season.
Mm-hmm.
And I know Tibbs, he tries to go into the, footage and try to study more. I think he could, cook up some things in the playoffs. And I know this, Macau and all that's been up and down, but I truly think that him and Cat are going to lock in the playoffs and we're going to see something special. I truly think that. I feel like everybody's, everybody's jumping off the rails. I did too a little bit, even this game I did, but like I was trying to say, I believe in the playoffs, man. I believe anything can happen, and I truly think that the sky's the limit once we get there. That's all I got to say.
There we go. Appreciate the positivity you're bringing in here after the loss. Look, it could happen. Anything could happen. Mikel's been to a finals. Cat's been to a Western Conference Finals. And Brunson, obviously, he's a playoff performer, and the playoffs are a different game. I think the Knicks could make some noise as well. Everything just has to go right for them in the second round. I know first round, everyone's kind of panicking a little bit, saying that we're not even going to beat the Pistons. We're not going to beat the Pacers. We're not going to beat the Bucks. I still think no matter who we face in the first round, this Knicks team should be able to beat them. And I love the enthusiasm. Let's go. Only 10 more games left, right? And just get there healthy. And we'll just see what happens. You got your captain coming back. Tonight was a tough loss. You're still going to finish over 50 wins. I know no one wants to hear it, but, it's the bench is a problem. It is. And they're just too inconsistent in a playoff series. I don't know. Yuri. What's going on, Yuri? Appreciate you. What you got?
And now we know why Tibbs doesn't play the bench. This is one of those reasons. Anyway, I'm not going to be negative about the loss. Listen, bad loss all around. You had a 14-point lead, but hey, it's the NBA. Leads happen. Leads blow. Move on to the next one. You're still one game away from clinching. And we got the Bucks, who are shorthanded and they're out Giannis, I believe. I expect Giannis to even be in a game Friday. We all thought James Harden was going to be out. Yeah, guess what? James Harden showed up. And here's the thing about the Clipper team. I'm going to tell everyone in the chat. That Clipper team has been slept on throughout the entire season.
Mm-hmm.
And guess what? They're playing their best brand of basketball right now. At this time.
They're playing incredible. They're playing incredible. And
well, I'm not really mad about the loss, Ant.
Yeah, I'm not either. That's why I'm not either. I know some people are getting crazy in the chat. Tony's getting crazy in the chat, but I understand it, but I'm not getting crazy about this loss. I'm not. This
was just a bad loss all around. You want to wash this away. And Jalen's coming back soon. We don't know when. My take on the whole Jalen thing is I want at least him to get 5 games, Ant. So we can get his rusting off.
Yeah.
At least.
Yeah.
But I think you got to load manage at this point. And I don't think Tibbs is going to do it.
I don't hate it. I've said it, Yuri. If you clinch, when you lock up the top 3 seeds, these guys shouldn't be playing heavy minutes. I know these guys want to bolster up their stats and to bolster up and try to obtain accolades, but once you clinch, these guys shouldn't be playing above 35 minutes a game, maybe even 30 minutes a game, honestly, because you need to be healthy and you need to be rested for the playoffs. Because if
is the most important part.
If you play Detroit,
we can't lose OG.
Yeah, if you play Detroit, it's going to be a heavyweight matchup. You need everybody.
And I'm looking at the game right now. It looks like 6 minutes left. The Nuggets are probably going to cruise on and beat Milwaukee.
Yeah.
So I think Bucks win that one. I'm going to keep an eye on that. But we're going to see the season of seeds unravel throughout the whole. We're going to not find out who's going to really clinch what up until probably late April.
Yeah.
Honestly, help's more important. I don't know when Ariel's coming back. He's on a bench. That's a good sign. Jalen's coming back. He's on a bench. That's a good sign.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
Yep.
And let's be honest here. When playoffs comes, chat, nobody's going to be using a 12, 10-man rotation. Everyone's going to be playing an 8 to 6-man rotation. That's not a joke.
Well, not everybody, Yuri. We are.
Yeah, I had to brighten up the positivity.
Not everybody. We will. Brunson will average like 40. He normally averages like 40 minutes a game in the playoffs. Cat's going to be up there. Everyone's going to be up there.
Nobody's going to want to come out.
So if Thibs throws in Precious Achiuwa for 2 minutes and he's giving us nothing, he's going to pull him. Mitchell Robinson will get some extended minutes, and as he should, because it's go time.
Go time. I trust Mitch more in the playoffs than I do Precious Achiuwa. Honestly, that says a lot.
It's crazy. It's crazy because Precious. I'm thinking back to the 76ers series, and he was just amazing defensively against Joel Embiid. I mean, you remember him and OG Anunoby. I think it was game 5. They were tremendous defensively, and he's just been so inconsistent. That's why I think it's kind
crazy.
of like a mental
one
thing for
injury
him.
really can't change how you play.
Yeah.
He had that hamstring injury.
Yeah.
And it hasn't been the same since.
Yeah. Yeah, it hasn't.
And I'm going to end off with this point. To everyone in the chat saying that last team's team is better, you got to stick it out with this team. This is year 1. Obviously, changes are going to happen. Obviously, Tibbs is probably going to be the coach for these next 2 years, and because that extension is going to kick in.
Yeah.
And what I want to say to the people in our chat is, your bench is going to get upgraded next season. We don't have the cap space, but obviously, Campaign's going to work. Precious is going to work. Shamit is going to work.
Let's talk about that in the summer, Yuri. Let's talk about in the summer.
But I'm calling it as it is. That's my prediction.
Yeah.
We're going to have a homegrown talent bench.
Yeah.
That's basically how it is. Anyway,
I agree.
Appreciate the call, Ant.
Yuri, appreciate the call, as always. Shout out to the callers tonight. El Figgy, Surrey, Yuri, always appreciate you guys calling in. El Figgy brought up some comments that I was thinking about, honestly. Dropped to the 4th seed, but I just don't think, you can't really plan that out. Like, how can you plan that out unless you're sitting your starters and telling them to lose? Like, you can't really plan that out. But if it happens, it happens, right? If it happens, it happens. It's still possible. I don't think so, because I think even if you're 4-4, you'll still play either one of Indiana, Detroit, or the Bucks. But what you're essentially doing is avoiding that second round matchup with the Boston Celtics. Hey, man, just bring it. At this point, just bring it. That's what it's looking out to be. This was a tough loss, but you got to bring it, and you got to move on. Tony says, Isaiah, oh, yeah, last thing, man. Honestly, I want the Pistons just because of 3 players, Timmy, Tobias, and Malik. Those 3 players have never shown anything in a playoff atmosphere. Agree. Any of those teams, Tony, I would rather play Milwaukee, but I wouldn't mind the Pistons. I still do think either way, the Knicks will win that series. It's just me personally, and I think you guys share the same sentiment. But Ron B says things get tight in the playoffs and teams can't afford to go cold offensively during these games. Your timeouts can't consist of read and react and expect these guys to go off, especially as a non-all-star level player. Tony says, yeah, our 8-man rotation is looking great. Pacer says he's right. Every team shortens the bench for the playoffs. Thibs just likes to play regular season games like it's the playoffs. He doesn't like to lose at all. Tom Thibodeau plays every single game with the thought in his mind to win the basketball game. And hey, a part of me respects him for it. But at times during the season, he has to scale it back a little bit. We've started to see Rick Brunson get in his ear a little bit on the sidelines. You started to see that more and more, playing the Johnny Bryant role. But essentially, guys, your bench has been inconsistent all year. And in a playoff series, honestly, you're just hoping for a spurt from them to kind of get your starters rest, because that's what you need, right? You need kind of 5 solid minutes from Shaman, 5 solid minutes from Precious. You need 20 to 25 solid minutes from Mitch, and I'm confident. Campaign needs to be that Energizer Bunny, and I'm confident that he will. Deuce, Deuce has been hurt, but let's not forget Deuce can give you that energy off the bench. So 10 games left. Just get healthy and just see how it goes from there. One more game to clinch. I'm trying to see if Tom Thibodeau has spoken yet regarding any injury concerns for you guys. Let me see if he's spoken yet. Payne. I'm trying to look it up. Campaign right ankle sprain is out for the remainder of the game. Josh Hart says injuries are always tough, and for some reason it's smacking us in the same position. Josh Hart talks about the Knicks losing Campaign in the second half of tonight's game and looks ahead to the final 10 games. Yeah. I don't like it. I honestly don't. I don't want to see this right now, especially in a time where you need to be healthy, in a time where you need everyone to be 100%. And look, nobody's 100%. Everyone's day to day, as they say. But you need everyone to be healthy. And that's all I care about, man. I mean, yeah, 3rd seed, 4th seed, it doesn't matter if you're not healthy. It doesn't matter. Right? Tony says Westchester Knicks will be our bench next year. Hopefully you can groom Daddy Ye. Huck Porty can get healthy, and he was starting to be in a rotation. He was playing more, right? Kolek was playing, is finally playing due to the injury. But you need these guys to step up due to your salary cap situation. And the Knicks will make some moves come summer, but they're still going to be a first apron team, even with the salary cap going up. So they're going to only have their tax mid-level exception. And I think that's only, $6 or $7 million a year. So it's going to be tough. So you need these guys to produce. Rookies I'm talking about. Dis Rover says, I don't trust in Deuce anymore. This is injury number 4, and he's been inconsistent every time in between each injury. Yeah, I mean, he's been hampered by injuries. He's had great games. He's been super inconsistent this year. And I'm hoping it's not a serious injury. They're saying it's a groin strain. You never want to hear that. But, yeah, I mean, at this point, you're just hoping for a game 1 versus the Philadelphia 76ers last year. Deuce was awesome. You're just hoping for games like that in the playoffs, right? You need those games from your bench. And I think we'll get them. I do. Am I confident? Not really. But I think we'll get them. As a longtime Knicks fan, I'd rather gas the starters in the regular season, win 55 games, get home court advantage for playoffs, than risk being a play-in team. I wouldn't gas the starters, but we're still going to win 50 games. And you always risk injury at that point. But, yeah. Isaiah says, mark my words, Kolek would be the Pritchard of the Knicks, but the passing version. I love Kolek, Isaiah. I love him. I wish he played more in the 4th. Selfishly, I want him to get to 10 assists. But, we just, in a playoff series, is Kolek really going to play? Is Thibs going to trust him? Now, if Deuce is out, if Payne's out, of course, he has to play. You got no other options. But, yeah, El Figgy says groin strain is like a hamstring. It's a tough injury. It is. And let's not forget, he got kneed, I believe, in that Spurs game. Played in the Hornets game, back-to-back. Finished the game, right? He finished the game, and then all of a sudden he popped up on the injury report. You don't like that. You don't like to hear that. So, tough game, guys. Tough game, 113 to 126, but I ultimately think this Knicks team, look, they're going to get the third seed. I keep repeating myself like a broken record, but Milwaukee is currently losing to the Denver Nuggets. So if you look at the standings, if Milwaukee loses, they played one less game than the Detroit Pistons. So it's Detroit and Milwaukee flip-flopping right now. And look, Pacers lost. So bring up the Pistons schedule. Cleveland, Minnesota, OKC. Pistons got a tough next 3 games ahead of them. To close out, they got Memphis, Sacramento, New York, Milwaukee in a back-to-back to end the season for the Detroit Pistons. Whoa. So these 2 games right here will probably define who's the number 5th and 6th seed. What are the chances that the Pistons and the Bucks are playing back-to-back games to close out the season? And right now on March 26th, it could be either of those teams you face in the first round. So weird scheduling, but those 2 games will probably define. Now, if the Pistons have built a lead, if they're like 2 games up from Milwaukee, then those 2 games don't matter. But Pistons could slide back a little bit. Then let's go to the guys. This is like so many moving parts. Tony says, I swear, if DeLon Wright gets a start Friday, I'm done. Michael says, could we reunite with Bogdanovich this summer? We need his scoring badly. We need somebody. Bogdanovich would be nice off the bench. I like Bogdanovich. I would. Coach Thibs just said DeLon Wright is a starting point guard move. What? When did he say that? He said that? DeLon Wright is a starting point guard moving forward? Why would he say that? I don't see that. That'll be crazy. That'll be crazy. This Rover says we need Dante. Try to get him back. All right, this is the Bucks schedule. We play the Bucks Friday. Atlanta, Phoenix. It's too early to be doing this. Honestly, I still think there's a lot moving parts. A lot can go down in these next 10 games, honestly. It's going to come down to the last 5 games where we can really get a clearer picture. It's just so hard to tell, especially with the health of Dame. But, yeah. Oh, you're saying you would have. Oh, okay. That would be crazy. All right, guys, tough loss. Friday, Bucks, Knicks, get back on track. Hopefully we can clinch on Friday. 10 games remain. Hopefully we can get Jalen Brunson back. Hopefully we get some good news regarding that. Appreciate every single one of you in the chat once again. I'm Anthony from Knicks Nation. Once again, appreciate the calls. Let me see if anyone's in the Discord waiting. No. Appreciate the calls. Once again, thank you, all of you. Sora, El Figgy, Yuri. Appreciate the call in. Thank you for the support. Thank you all. Have a great night. Let's go Knicks. Everything will be fine. Everything will be fine. Woosa. I'm Anthony. Peace.